You know, it's been this ongoing narrative that black Americans literally hate Africans. And you had a British podcaster say this, that, you know, that black Americans, due to certain situations, a culture or whatever, that we hate Africans. There's this ongoing narrative that was created. Now, I'm going to tell you like this, we have to go back a little bit further back in the day, before the delineation movement, before they passed the 16th and 17th Amendment. Let's go back. Africa at that time was controlled by what you call colonial forces. These colonial powers out of Europe basically chopped Africa up into the states y'all have today. Before that, before the Europeans came in, you just had kingdoms and tribes. But when the Europeans came in, they chopped all the countries up under their own idea of chopping certain countries up for certain European nations like France, Belgium, Britain, and all the other European powers, Germany. Literally, they chopped Africa up into what you see the states today. All are part of colonialism. Well, eventually, as the world changed, as time went on, you had the civil rights movement kicking off. You had the civil rights movement kicked off in the doggone, 50s to 60s. And the civil rights movement, actually, it was born out of Pan-Africanism, but it turned into the civil rights movement. So what happened is, the civil rights movement inspired other movements on the African continent. It inspired Jesse Alima. It inspired a lot of brothers like Patrice Lumumba, Robert Sankara. The black movements in the United States basically expanded over into Africa. Pan-Africanism was born in the United States. So these movements started spreading over Africa. Well, in Africa, we passed the 16th and 17th Amendment, right? The 16th and 17th Amendment was going to allow Africans and people from the Caribbean to come over here en masse. So a lot of the white folks at that time, they weren't thrilled about that, because they already was done with dealing with black people, those who were born in the United States. But however, they decided to let all these Africans come in. However, they came up with a game plan. There was a game plan that they came up with. When the Africans come over to the State Department, when they come in to get citizenship, they automatically say, well, we're going to change this, we're going to flip this. Because since Africans don't have ties to the Americans, and they have to deal with slavery and all that, Jim Crow, we can actually use Africans as a buffer. So basically, Africans could be who we use as a buffer against the black people, to show the world that, look, see, ain't racism over here. It's just these lazy black Americans who are not making it, and why the Africans doing so well, but the black Americans not. So that's the reason why they started using this whole thing, and they started getting Africans certain little crumbs and shit that they wasn't giving black people, because they got to create this division. And a lot of the Africans fell into it. They fell into it, technically. So they started talking all the white supremacist talking points, saying that black Americans, this and that and that, not knowing the history of this country, not even doing research of the history of our history with with white America. They just came over and just saying, we lazy black Americans do this, we don't take accountability. Okay. That's what they did, right? Now, you see some of these Africans now, everything now changing. The Donald Trump administration changed all that. Said, we sending y'all back. We sending all y'all illegals back. We sending all y'all back. So now, them same Africans who was talking shit about us, saying we were lazy, need to take accountability. Black people said, you know what? We're going to delineate. Fuck that. We're going to delineate. Now that we delineating, now they want to usher about white supremacy. Now they see white supremacy. Now, only when they ass start to get the ass end of it and start getting the same racist white supremacists treating them certain ways, now they want to talk about white. Now these African and Caribbean immigrants who were telling us to stop exaggerating and stop blaming white people, stop having victimhood, now they starting to talk about, say, white supremacy. It's interesting how you Caribbeans and Africans could run around talking about white supremacy. Now when you all told us we was exaggerating, Now y'all see everything we were saying. Now y'all want to talk about white supremacy. Interesting, very interesting.